Welcome back to my channel. No, I'm just kidding. It's been like 4 weeks since I posted my last YouTube video and I'm so sorry. I literally just forgot about it. But yeah, Trump defunded public media, so joblessness is on the horizon for me. So I'm here. Yeah, pound that like button for me and subscribe. I'm just kidding. Today I'm making paper because it's awesome. No, my friends are in an art collective. One of their workshops was to make paper, so I decided to do that as well at home without any supplies. But it's possible. I was looking up a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to do it, and a lot of them did require supplies, but I just wanted to repurpose the existing paper scrap that I already had, so I just improvised. And here it is for you today. So first you'll need a jar to put the paper in, and then paper scraps, obviously. I started off by shredding up my paper. Professionals use an emulsifier thing or like an immersion blender, but you're not supposed to use it for food once you've used it for paper, and I really wanted to use my immersion blender, but the logic in me said, no, you can't do that, babes. So I didn't. I just cut up pieces of paper manually, and I saw this YouTube tutorial that said to let it sit in water for a couple days so that the water could really soak into the paper. But I just did maybe 30 minutes, I don't know. These papers were left over from my zine making and other stuff that I was doing. And it's wild because we actually do make a lot of paper waste, but the really cool thing about paper making is that you can literally just repurpose it. And that's like kind of my artist philosophy. Like, I think we should be creating circular cycles. We should be creating circular things so that our waste can be turned into something new. I think the same for clothes. So this was just really inspiring on that level if we think about like sustainability and like how art should be just like repurposing things to make it more beautiful instead of making new things. The material is like standard like printer paper, but there's also heavier cardstock and also like other people's screen or reso prints that I've collected, and like oil pastel and marker that's on the paper. And I'm hoping it doesn't discolor it too much, so that's why I was kind of selective in what I chose. You can see I had like a green paper, but I didn't want that to discolor it, so I kind of just chose like orange, pink, like warmer tone colors. And here I am putting in the water. Yep, it's kind of nasty. Instead of an immersion blender, I used my hands. I was just really grinding it up in there. Yeah, and once I was like satisfied with it, I set up my impromptu workstation, which is just like a flat tray and like a pillowcase that I had. Basically, you just need like a flat surface to put the paper pulp on, and then you spread out the paper, and then you have to dry it out. The reason I'm using the pillowcase is to make it easier to transfer once I'm done with it, because this amount of pulp is probably going to make more than one piece of paper. So here I am spreading it out. This process was also pretty fun because it feels like you're just playing, but also in a kind of gross way. And it kind of smelled like paper and also like crayons because of the oil pastel. And then I had this mesh top that I decided to use as kind of like a screen. In professional paper making, you're supposed to have like screens that are like stretched out over frames. But obviously I didn't have that. And this just allows me to like remove the excess water with a sponge, as you see that I'm doing here, without moving the contents of my paper pulp. So yeah, ingenuity, like you can do anything if you want. Now I'm just peeling back the mesh to put the paper piece away for it to dry somewhere. And this is the texture of the paper. It's really chunky because obviously I did it by hand, but I kind of like how much texture there is, and I think it would be cool for uses in like collage where the paper durability isn't as important. For handmade paper, I don't think it's usable in like standard paper situations where you're going to be touching it or like moving it around a lot. I think it's more purely decorative, but if you do have like more professional materials, you could obviously make paper and use it as regular paper. But yeah, here I am doing another sheet. I got kind of lazy, so I just dumped it all in and hoped for the best because this was actually a really long process. Like I showed you earlier, I got 40 minutes of footage and I didn't realize it was recording that long. So yeah, labor of love. And here's the texture of the second piece of paper. It's smaller than the other one, but also maybe thicker, I'm not sure. But yeah, I tried to use an iron to dry it out because I saw someone doing that in their YouTube video, but it wasn't working and it was just getting really steamy and hot. So I was like, okay, I have to give up and let it sit. Yeah, I did this really impromptu right before I was leaving for a trip, so I wanted to see the results fast, but as with anything, you need to wait. So this is the paper over several days. The smaller sheet dried much faster. It was like a day or two, and it felt like egg cartons. It felt exactly like that, but less durable, I guess. And then for my bigger sheet, I did wait several days, and it was still wet, so I eventually just removed it and then ironed out the extra moisture and let it sit for longer. But yeah, I think it was because it was sitting just like on a table where the bottom couldn't get air or ventilation. So if that really bothers you, people do hang it up to dry. Like you can do that, but not immediately after because it will fall apart. But yeah, this was just my experience. So here's the texture of the final paper on video, and also I scanned it. It was really fun making it, and I have a bunch of extra paper stored for the next time that I'm gonna make paper. But again, it's a laborious process, and I just need to hit up my oomph, who has an immersion blender that they specifically use for this, because I am curious to see what I could do with better emulsified paper pulp. But yeah, I'm excited to use this for like printing because I haven't experimented on it yet, just because I've been doing other art stuff. But what I've seen is that people will use this paper scrap and they'll people will use the paper they made, and if it's like lower quality or like not as durable, they'll put it on a regular piece of printer paper. Like they'll tape it and then they'll run their design through the printer, and that kind of works for them. So hopefully I'll do that eventually, but not right now. But if you want to see the results, they'll probably be on my Instagram, and there's other art on my Instagram too. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope this inspires you to play with making your own paper, and I hope you also think about circular ways that we could be using art. Okay, thanks, bye! And shout out to Oomph for letting me borrow a nicer camera and mic to give you the quality that you all deserve. Support me to continue having this better quality. Yeah. Like and subscribe if you like it. Okay, thanks, bye! I'm just kidding.